Okay, so in this video we will see the differences between the tuples and list. So Python provide you a way you can define a variable where the variable will be containing the multiple values, and these ways are list and tuple. But there are differences between both of these. First is the syntax difference. Syntax difference is when you are defining a list, you put the element inside the square brackets, right? But in case of tuple, you put the elements inside the parentheses. Okay. And the second difference is lists are mutable. Mutable means you can change or modify the value of a list. For example, as we know, you can say the elements can be accessed by using the index number, and indexing start from 0, 0, 1, 2. So if I want to change this value or I want to modify this value, I want to remove this value and put another element here. So what we can do is, by accessing the index number, you can give a new value, right? So I have given 0th index a new value book. So the new list will be like this. Pen is replaced with the book, right? But in case of tuple, you cannot change or modify the value of a tuple. And if you try to access the index number and give a new value, it will give you the error, right? Okay. So next difference is copied. Means list can be copied. Copied means if you are trying to create a new list and you want all the elements from the previous list to be copied into a new list, that can be available in the list. For example, list 2 is a new list you are creating, and list is a function which will let you copy this first list. For example, I am using this list 1, right? A list is a function, and if I run this command, it will just copy all the elements into this new list. See what happens in the Python. What we can say, if we are having a variable and we are giving it a value, or you can say, for example, list 1 is a variable and these are the values, it means this is referring to this particular value. But if we are copying this value, it means list 2 will not be referring to this value. List 2 will be a new variable which will be having the values, and it will be referring to those values, right? And if I am going to change value, for example, I am going to modify the values, those modified value will be visible inside the list 2, not to the list 1. So which means list 1 and list 2 are not referring to the same thing, right? Both are completely different. So how we will know that these are differently created? By using the print command, and print command is supported by is keyword. Is keyword will let you know whether two variables referring to the same object, right? And if I'm going to run this, this will return false. Means these two lists are not referring to the same object. These are completely different objects. And if in case of tuple, you cannot copy the elements. If I am going to use the same way, for example, tuple 2 is new tuple and I am creating it, and tuple function is used here, and inside I am giving the tuple 1, right? So in this case, tuple 2 is referring to the same object, this object, and tuple 1 is also referring to the same object, right? And if I'm going to use the is keyword inside the print for the tuple, print tuple 1 is tuple, means whether tuple 1 is referring to the tuple 2, yes, means both the objects are pointing to the same object, right? Okay, so next difference is a size difference. In case of list, a small memory block is provided when you are creating a list. For example, I created this list and these are the elements. In the initially this will be provided 48 bytes, right? And if you want to know what is the size of the list, you can use the size of method, right? This will return the size of any object. So as we know, list is also an object. So if I print it and use list1 dot size of function, it will return the size of that particular, means list1 object size, right? But in case of tuple, the size is, you can say, a large block of memory is provided to the tuple. So why is this? Because tuple is, you can say, is immutable. You cannot add more elements later on. So initially it will be provided with a large block. Okay, but in case if list is, you can say, append, if we change the size of any list, we can change it. You can say at the end, if we have created a list and we have created a tuple will stay the fixed, right? You cannot change the size. But in case of list, you can upgrade it, you can add more elements, but at in the end the size of list will be greater than the size of tuple because it's having the variable length. And how we can access that? By using the append and insert function, which are already discussed in previous videos. If you want to see, go to the Python playlist and check there how you can use the append and insert function to change the length of a list. Okay.